the things we do in our youth. Hello, and welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews, Proust Edition. This is Book 2, Part 5, page 481 to 604 in my version. I'm filming today, as you've noticed maybe that I've been filming in a different room of my house every single time. I'm going to keep up this trend, and today I am filming in the worst room in our house, which is my bedroom. We've renovated every room in our house except for the bedroom, and it is just atrociously bad, so you won't get to see any of it. Also, it'd be weird to show you videos of my bedroom. Anyway, so in these pages in the book, Marcel is still hanging around Baalbec. He gets annoyed with his grandma because she wants to have her photo taken. I don't know, for some reason he thinks this is stupid. I'm sure he won't think it's stupid when she passes on and he has nothing else to remind him of her. So this is the thing. I think this is what the title of the book is referred to. So he sees this group of girls on the beach. I think it's partially because he's lonely, like he wants some friends, but he also clearly has the hots for most of them. For some reason, though, his desire to befriend them reminds me of that Netflix show Dairy Girls. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty hilarious. Like, I don't watch a lot of comedy because I'm very picky and I have like a very strange sense of humor, but this one really worked for me and it was quite funny. Anyway, I kind of kept picturing him as the lone boy in the group of girls from that show. Anyway, he ruminates on them for a number of pages. He runs into them a few times, but he never really talks to them. He focuses mainly on what he calls the cyclist. He also hangs out in this restaurant called the Revell. He wants St. Lou to be his wingman, but the dude is like so devoted to his girlfriend that he won't do it. And Marcel, predictably, gets drunk at this restaurant a lot, and he talks about being so quite a long time. Yeah, so he spends a lot of time thinking about how pleasant it is to be drunk in a restaurant, the overall atmosphere, how all his ambitions and desires seem less important when he's drunk, and he could die happy in this state of being. A restaurant. Those were the days when we could go to restaurants. Now we all just have to get drunk in our houses, and it's not the same thing. Near the end, he meets this guy named Elster, which is an artist. He spends some time describing the paintings, which is, to be honest, one of the, like, it wasn't as bad as you would expect to have someone describe a painting to you, but I was like, dude. So he learns that Elster knows this cyclist and her name is Albertine Simonet. He pressures Elster to go for a walk on the beach in hopes that they'll run into the girls, so Elster, can introduce him to them. When he does see them, he hesitates, realizing that if he meets these girls, all the fantasies he's had about them that he's played up in his head would vanish, right? It would break all the illusions, basically, and leave him nothing to ponder or dream about. So he claims that Albertine was scarcely more than a silhouette, all that had been superimposed upon her being my own invention. So he doesn't want to kind of break this kind of thing he's created, and then he misses his chance and he's pissed off at himself. So these pages end with him finding a portrait of the one and only Odette, which Elster refuses to admit is her. And then Marcel talks about how paintings don't reveal the truth of their subjects, how the paintings are subject to the patron's requests and the artist's interpretation of their personality, style, and temperament. Paintings are basically like the OG Instagram filter, I think he's trying to say, because he totally was definitely talking about, Instagram. I have an Instagram account. All I post is pictures of my dogs and food that I cook, and sometimes like a book that I'm reading. I don't know. It's not very interesting. I don't recommend you go on my Instagram, but you can if you want to. So some moments in the book that I thought were fun. So there's a scene when the girls scare some old man by jumping over him. I think it was meant to show kind of their youth and how they just don't care about others as teenagers do. They block the path of people walking by, stuff like that. But I thought it was actually quite funny. This poor old man, they jump right over him. And Marcel, he complains or perhaps comments on the lift boy and the rising middle class at the time period. He says of the lift boy, he belonged to that modern proletariat that seeks to eliminate from its speech every trace of a career in service. So this is kind of an interesting look into the time period. I actually wish there was a bit more of this in the books, but Marcel is really showing his privilege here by kind of being almost annoyed with this guy for how he speaks, when it's clear that he owes a lot to the serving class. I've got some quotes. Love and consequently fear of the crowd being one of the most powerful motives in all human beings, whether they seek to please other people or to impress them or to show that they despise them. This is true. Here's another one. For just as it's not the desire to become famous, but the habit of being industrious that enable us to produce a finished work. And then the practice of solitude had given him a love for it. And I think this is true. Definitely for me. I love being alone. I absolutely love it. But some people aren't. So I think this year is a way to put that kind of theory of Marcel's to the test. Because I don't think a lot of people would agree with me. I totally just would love to have 2 weeks, alone. But I've got a little one here sitting beside me. Not crying, thank God. I've got one photo here I'm going to share with you. Here it is. It is Crepuscule in Opal, Revell by James Abbott McNeill Whistler, 1865. I am much more fond of landscape photos than I am of portraits of people, so I'm always glad to see kind of a muted one like this. It's nice. Anyway, thank you for watching. There'll be one more. I've got about 100 pages left of the book to go, and I'm going to finish it by the new year. So you'll have the last one before, probably on the 31st. Thank you.